Hi, I'm Dane Bubeng, and welcome to yet another episode of Life Lived in Purpose. Now, today's topic will be on joy. The journey of purpose is actually joy, and here's why. Now, when you have committed to your God given purpose and you have fully surrendered and committed your life to walking on that path, the ending result of it is actually going to be joy. Joy is the feeling that you get when you become one with your destiny. You are no longer second guessing yourself or questioning God's intentions for your life. You are now filled with never ending joy about your life, the choices that you have made confidently, and the decision that you have also made to walk with God and His path for you. Here's an example of a joyful person. Have you ever met this person who is just radiant? Like they're just glowing all over. You'll even realize they're like, why? Why is this person always just so joyful and at peace with themselves? And we that is for me an indicator of a joyful heart. So joy on a purpose-driven journey, it's similar. Like because your heart is more connected with what you do, with who you are, and you live to be doing the same thing over and over each day. That joy is always something that it resonates with you and you feel it. It becomes a part of who you are and exactly who God has made you to be. So doing this same action step over and over, it gives you much joy. This is why I always say, or I always speak about the need to actually find that level ground no matter what. Find what gives you joy and go at it wholeheartedly. Don't limit yourself and limit who you can be and how that peace and joy that you want in your life, how it can resonate with you if you do choose to go on that path or that journey that gives you joy. So God wants us to find joy in everything. Like it's a part of who He made us to be. He says it over and over in the Bible anyway. Psalm 16 verse 11, one of David's writing, is a perfect example of that. He spoke about the joy of the Lord being present on his journey. It states, "You reveal the path of life to me. In your presence is abundant joy. In your right hand is eternal pleasure." So David was aware of the joy that comes from the Lord. He's also aware of joy being on his path, the revealed one that God has called him to be on. So it's the same thing for us. God will and will show us what path will be the joy that we need, what path, what career decisions, what choices, whatever it is that is right for us, that feels right for us, that is a part of who we are. That's the path that God wants us to take and to just embrace wholeheartedly and know that that's where your joy will also be. So yes, the path of God, the path that God has planned for us is actually going to be a more joyful path. Now, God knows already what gives us joy. He knows who we are. He made us that way. So when you find God, you also find joy. When you search for His purpose for you, you find joy. When you finally surrender to do His will over your life, you will also find joy. Now, you may be wondering, what does that joy look like? What does it look like for you in your life, in your current circumstances right now? Maybe you're struggling with that right now in your own life. Maybe you don't have joy. Maybe you're in turmoil. Maybe there's a lot of unhappiness with you right now. Maybe you're miserable in the circumstances that you have right now. And it may not seem ideal for you, right? But whatever is that, whatever is stealing your joy, ask the Lord for more revelation about it. Most of the time, it's also an indicator that you're not being where He's calling you to be. The opposite of joy is what? The opposite of joy is unhappiness, right? We may often say that we are unhappy with our life, job, circumstances. Those are things that most of us will say about our lives. But whatever is that struggle for you, you got to find it. You have to try to find it and find more about that struggle and ask God for more revelation on it and what you can do to resolve that struggle that you may be having right now in your life. Because that lack of joy is a strong indication that something is not right. God doesn't want us to live in this unhappy, unfulfilling lives. So when our joy is being robbed, we got to go to the source. We got to go to God and we have to ask Him for more clarity, more direction, and more insights on what is it that is robbing our joy. Because as I have mentioned to you before, there is always going to be peace on your God-given journey. So God also, unbeknownst to many of us, He will use actually that unhappiness that we're feeling as an indicator that there is something wrong. There is something that needs your attention. There's something that you need to change right away in your life. There is something about the path that you're on that needs some actual redirection. So I will often advise others when they tell me about their lives, that they're unhappy or uncomfortable or any distress or whatsoever they're going through in their life. I have to ask them first and foremost if they know, do you know that you are where you're supposed to be? Are you on the right path? Is this where God is calling you in this season of your life? Have you been living on the back road instead of the side roads or any other road that you've probably put yourself on instead of actually being on the road that God is calling you to be on? Those are the questions I ask them first if I find that they're struggling with something or that they feel unhappy or uncomfortable about their life or circumstances or their situation. So yes, it is first and foremost, the best thing to do is to ask God, are you exactly where He needs you to be? Are you on the right path? The roadmap that God has created specifically for your life and your journey and your purpose. That direction is also the direction that is unique for you. And that direction is also the direction that will bring you the joy, the peace, and everything that you need to live that life. So yes, your God-given path, it is perfect for you. It's what will fill you with the joy and the peace that you want to see in your life, right? So even if the path has some potholes or roadblocks along the way, your joy doesn't actually go away. As long as you're on the right path, it really doesn't matter what comes along that path that God has you on. Yes, God will allow things to occur that you may not want to face or deal with. But just be reminded that it's something that He may need to build in you, or He wants you to grow or mature or to something that He may be calling you to do on your journey that may not be comfortable for you. But that doesn't mean that it's there to steal your joy. It's just something that He wants you to learn about yourself and to also maybe develop your faith or to grow something about you. But as I've said before, no matter what comes on your path, just know that once you're on the right path, joy is there. The joy of the Lord is there and will be there on your path. So in my life, for example, I knew something was off for the most part of it. I was uneasy. I wasn't at peace. I was uncomfortable. I was going through turmoil. I couldn't hide for it. I couldn't run from it either. I had to face it head on. It was very unfulfilling. It was miserable. So yes, I went to God angry and I wanted answers for myself. What did I get? This was the answer. Did you ask me about your life when you went headstrong towards your own desires? No, I didn't ask Him for the roadmap, the right direction, the blueprint, because I thought I knew everything, right? As humans, we always think we know everything. Why do I need to ask God? I'm doing the right thing. So, what was the purpose? What was the reason behind that? So, it's the same way. We are all the same way. We know what's best for us for our lives. We want to be like that, right? But sometimes we really don't know what's best for our lives. We do need God's wisdom and favor at all times. He also loves when we actually inquire about him as well. He loves when we ask him about our life. He loves when we ask us, Lord, should we do this at this point? He loves when we ask us, should we take that job? Should we move to that city? Should we leave that career? Whatever it is, he loves when we ask us those questions. It's because we are building an intimate relationship with God, the God who loves us, the God who knows us exactly who knows exactly who we are, and the God who wants us to be in a life that fills us with love, joy, and peace. So, yes, what is the result of that relationship that you build with God? It's peace, it's joy, it's never ending trust with a God that loves you and cares so much about you. Jeremiah 29, verse 11, my favorite Bible passage. For I know the plans I have for you. This is the Lord's declaration. Plans for your welfare, not for disaster, to give you future and a hope. Right? So how promising is this verse? He knows the plans. He knows the roadmap for you. He had the roadmap he wanted you to take all along anyway. He knew the perfect path for you, which was in line with who you are and who he's calling you to become. He knows that job was better than the other job you were running after, or the timing to purchase maybe that house you wanted so badly. It was what was best for you at the time. So he knows why he allows certain events to happen to get you to make better decisions and to go on the right path that he's calling you to go on, right? He knows everything. And that's why it's beneficial for you as well to always ask, always inquire of the Lord if what you're doing is actually the right thing that he's calling you to do. So yes, we sometimes get upset about the timing of things, the behavior of others, and everything in between. However, if you look back at that verse for a moment, you will realize that he means you no harm. God is not out to destroy us, right? He already knows what you need in every season of your life. He's also building in you faith, maybe, endurance, patience, talking to myself, and also longevity. So these are character traits that are beneficial for you as well on your journey of purpose and destiny. Hebrews 12 verse 11 says that no discipline seems enjoyable at the time, but it may be painful. Later on, however, it yields the fruit of peace and righteousness to those who have been trained by it. So I am not ever going to say that your path is always going to be sunshine and no rain will come whatsoever. There will be days on your path when the sun will stop shining and the rain will pour. But it's not in any way to discourage you whatsoever. It's just something that God allows to happen on your path to help you to grow, to help you to mature, to help you to become more confident in who he is actually calling you to become. So your joy is not only present because you're on the right path as well. We won't get this, incorrect in any way whatsoever. Your joy is present because you have decided to accept the path that God has planned for you. And also the roadblocks and anything that may be coming on that journey or that path that he's calling you to. And those roadblocks or potholes, or I would like to call them, whatever that is that comes, those difficult times or season that comes on the journey that is the right path for you, just be reminded that it's there to build you up. It's not there to destroy you, because he also sees something in you that maybe needs to be strengthened for as your season or the time that you're in, and something that you will eventually need for your lifetime of purpose and destiny. So therefore, if you find yourself in a tight spot that doesn't seem right, or anything that doesn't feel right about your life right now, make it a choice to just first and foremost inquire of God about what stage you are in right now, and if in fact you are where He needs you to be. So if you receive this clarity about that path, then be confident to take that action step, whatever you need to go after that path, to be on that path, and to get on that right path that God is calling you to be on. So if you're also on the path, let's say you finally decided to surrender, commit, and be on the path that God is calling you to be on, yes, there is going to be turmoil along the route. It's also something to consider, to think about, that He is actually there to work something in you, to build something in you, to strengthen you, to help you. Maybe it's your faith. Maybe you need some more faith, especially as an entrepreneur, for example. You might need more faith or confidence to build something outside of the normal work life cycle, right? So He might have to bring circumstances in your life on your God-given path to help you, to train you to develop this confidence, or to develop even more faith in what He's calling you to do on that path, right? So whether it's your faith, yes, that needs to grow, or your confidence, just trust that whatever it is that is needed on your journey, be at peace with that as well. It's not there to steal your joy or anything like that. It's there just to build you up for the longevity of purpose that is required. However, at the end of it all, just know that being in the right place, on the right path, with a God who loves you, who cares about you, who wants the utmost best for you, and He wants you to be on your journey of purpose and destiny, and to just thrive and grow into who He's calling you to become, it is a path that is filled with joy. So thank you once again for listening to another episode of Life Lived in Purpose. I do hope that this will encourage you as well on your path, whether you are not on the current path or you are planning to go on the path that God is calling you to be on, is to ask the Lord of whenever you're going to make any decision, whenever you're feeling any distress about anything in your life, to go and ask the Lord whether or not you are on the right path, whether or not you're doing the right thing, or whether or not He is actually bringing something on the path that you are on to help you to grow, mature, or whatever it is He may be calling you to be on. But overall, whatever it is, once you're on that right path, joy is going to always be the result. So thank you once again. If you haven't purchased any of my books, I Am Who God Says I Am, Always Be Inspired to Live the Life God Has Planned for You, or A Balanced Life, Moving from a Dysfunctional Life to a More Purposeful One. I wrote these books to just encourage anyone who's on their purpose-driven journey that you can be who God is calling you to be. You can become confident in who you are. My story tells of my own journey and how I was able to transition from a life that felt stuck or stagnant to something that God was calling me to be on. And as I can tell you, based on how I am right now, that I am at peace with my life. There's so much joy in me, and I love getting up and doing everything that God has been calling me to do thus far. So I pray that the same thing will happen for you as well. So the link for both books are in the description box below. And also, if you want to listen to more of my stories, if you want to listen to more of the revelation about your life, your path, your journey, do also join me on my Life Lived in Purpose podcast. So until next time, I do thank you once again for watching. Bye.